I'm Michael Davis. I'm the literacy coordinator at Nant Primary School, and I'm here to talk about the Sounds Right phonics programme. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the training of sound. Well, the reason why we went with Sounds Right. After COVID and the children had lots of sort of remote learning, and we recognised that there was lots of gaps in the children's learning in terms of phonics, and it was an issue right throughout the school. And the phonics scheme that we had at the time just wasn't sufficient enough for them to be supported and to sort of overcome the difficulties with phonics. So we did a bit of research, and we visited a school in Merthyr who had already implemented Sounds Right, and we went there to see it in action and to see the impact of it, because it was running for a while, and we agreed as a staff that this was the best way forward. And Sounds Right is a no-frills, systematic, synthetic approach to phonics, where the children have daily phonics sessions from reception into year 1 and year 2. Hopefully then by year 3, they won't need daily phonics sessions, but they can use it as intervention. And it's going back to basics with phonics, no frills, no songs, no gimmicks, and it's just a consistent way of teaching phonics, to the point where there's even a script. So the staff are all saying the same things. The same the language that we use, the way they build words is very similar. It's all the same. Sorry, so that there's no confusion with the children. So I'm going to talk about the training first of all. So in terms of training, it is quite intense, and because it's an English scheme, all the training is done in England. So if you wanted a face-to-face training, for example, it's a 4-day commitment. So training is 4 days, and lots of the training are all of the training are in English schools or in England. So I managed to find training in Hereford, which was the closest place to obviously where we are in Wales. But there is an option of doing online training. And the online training is also intense, to the point where you even have to record yourself delivering Sounds Right sessions and then email it back to the assessor, and they pass you or fail you, and you do modules like that. The importance of it is that you deliver the phonics sessions consistently, and that's why they can't really pass you unless you record the videos. And it just ensures then that all the staff are fully trained in it. And my teaching assistant at the moment is currently doing the online training, because she's a new member of staff, and she said it is quite onerous, but she feels more than confident to teach the Sounds Right sessions now. So I think it's a very, the training is intense, but it is very useful. So it is costly as well, but I think that if you have phonics as on your SDP, I think it's worth the money. In terms of how you group the children then, so groupings, it's whole class teaching, so that the children sit on the boards, and it's interactive, and that's why it's called Sounds Right, is because they write, they say the sounds, they read the word, and they write it straight away. They make that link with the writing, with a whiteboard and a pen on the carpet. We do whole class teaching, and we go through the phonics scheme and the units of modules together as a class. I was asked whether for the children who struggle and for the children who are falling behind with their phonics and not quite getting it, do you split the class? Well, we were advised by the Sounds Right assessors that not to split the class, because if you're splitting the class then, so say for example the children are just basically on CVC words and they can't get any further, when you're teaching then the new sounds, so the vowel sounds, so the different ways of making the A sound, for example, the children then are going to miss that. So if they've been separated from the whole group teaching of phonics, the gap's going to get wider. So what they said was the children who do struggle with, and are falling behind, to have intervention. So they have Sounds Right intervention as well as the Sounds Right sessions. But it's really important to give the children the exposure of the new sound, so that they're not falling behind and the gap gets, too wide. And the way we record Sounds Right sessions is I video myself. So every time we do Sounds Right, I just record the session and I put it on my Google Drive folder on school as evidence. They don't have any work, obviously, because it's all done on whiteboards. So that's our evidence then of how we deliver Sounds Right. So there's two different programs. So it's the initial code and the extended code. So the initial code is what you teach in reception, and the extended code then is meant to be taught then from year one. But because our children are so low coming in, I have to teach the initial code as well in year one. And then I start the extended code then normally around about this time, middle of the year, when I feel the children are ready. And then the extended code then goes into year two. And then in our school, we also teach extended code in year three as well because of the delay. So the initial code is all about the single sounds and getting the children to blend and segment, starting off with CVC word building, and then it's more tricky then in terms of introducing things like 2 letters, 1 sound, so the sh sound and the ch sound. And it's all about playing with the sounds, making them confident with the single sounds in order to blend and segment. And then the extended code then, which is delivered then from year one, is more intense. So that's when you teach the different ways of spelling the same sound, and it moves on to polysyllabic words as well. So resources. The resources then, for example, it's not no frills and everything. What they teach you to do in Sounds Right is either use magnetic letters on the board or just post-it notes and use that with the sounds, and you word build with the post-it notes. And then the children get up. It's interactive in that way, where they move the sounds around, and it's important for them to see it visually on the board. But what they do then is, once they've seen it on the board, on their board, they write it straight away. And as they write the word, they say the sounds. So it's very much, it's straight away. They're seeing it, they're reading the word, they're building the word, and they're writing it straight away. So the resources that you would need then would just be whiteboards, whiteboard pens, post-it notes, a big board on the carpet. There is actually a website, the Sounds Right website, where they've done it digitally. So you can do it on an interactive whiteboard if you want to. You can there's post-it notes on there, so you can write them on there. So you haven't got to use paper copies. I prefer to use the paper copies, but it's up to you as a teacher what you feel is appropriate and what you're more comfortable with. And then the resources then, obviously the Sounds Right diagnostic testing is within that book, along with lots of activities, games, resources in terms of stories that link to the sounds, and also the website as well. The website has more resources on there, and when you attend the course and when you've completed Sounds Right training, you will have a code then which will allow you to access all of that online. So engagement, we find that Sounds Right has transformed our writing and our confidence with sounds. The children are really, the children in my class are, they like Sounds Right. They speak positively about it through listening to learners, and they enjoy the sessions because, like I said, it's very interactive. The children are proud when they've made achievements. The level of engagement is really positive, and children speak positively about it Sounds Right, and that the children are engaged in the lessons. What I try and do as well is I try and keep the sessions, to a 15-minute maximum on the carpet, and that it is interactive. So they're not just sat there the whole time, it's my turn, your turn, and they're interactive that way. So, it's enjoyable to teach as well as a teacher. And I feel that my confidence in phonics as well, and personally my own subject knowledge has really improved, and I'm able to diagnose like where they need help with. So I've got lots of children at the moment stuck where once they've done the diagnostic test, you can see where they need help with, or what unit they need to go back to, which is really good at diagnosing the problem of what they need support with. I've got a lot of children in my class now who can segment. They can say the sounds in the word. So for example, they can say cat, but when I'm asking them to read the word, that's where they need support with the blending. So it does provide you as well with different activities and games that you can do to plug that gap as well, so that you can, you know, address the issues that the children are struggling with. In terms of parents, what we do in our school is at the start of the year, normally in the autumn term, the first few weeks, we have a meeting with the reception parents, and it's basically about Sounds Right. We share the programme, we give the parents the link to the website, we give them information, a leaflet, and we basically tell them about the programme so that they can support the children at home. And there is also online activity and games that the children can use. They can use at home. I think the only problem we'll be having with it is it doesn't work on a certain device. I think it's Apple it doesn't work on. It's only the other tablets that use it, but you can actually use it through the internet, through online, if they had a computer at home. So yeah, the parents are really on board with it. They sort of want support as well, because they want to support the children, and they want to get it right. And you know, we sort of bring them in and invite them in at the start, so that they've got any issues, concerns, or questions they can raise with us. And it's basically then we have like a check-in group. So we have parent check-ins throughout the year then. And if parents have any issues or questions about Sounds Right, they're willing to, they can ask at those meetings. And then we have reading books then. So the phonics, what we realised is when we introduced Sounds Right, we only had sight vocabulary books in school. We didn't have any phonics reading schemes. So we had PM readers and we had Oxford Reading Tree, which are both sight vocabulary reading schemes. So we needed to buy into a phonics scheme. So we bought the Sounds Right books, and they are the ones that go home with the children, because it supports them with their Sounds Right journey. And also there's another scheme called Dandelion Readers, which is also another phonics scheme, reading scheme, and that I think that's a little bit cheaper than the Sounds Right books, but we decided to go with the Sounds Right books. But that, as a school, that's, you know, the Dandelion Readers are slightly cheaper. In terms of assessment, tracking and progress, within the Sounds Right book, there's a diagnostic test, and it's the same test the children take. So first of all, the children get tested on the sounds, what sounds they know. And that's done termly. So we do that at the start of every term from reception, so that the children are tracked, so that they know, so we can see what sounds they are struggling with. There's also a blending test, a segmenting test. There's a sound deletion test, where the children have to say a word and take one of the sounds out. So for example, if I give you an example, an easy one, can you say the word cat without the k sound? So they would say at. And then also then they've got tests where they use nonsense words, and that's to check the children's application of skills, because the children, sometimes they might recognise words, sight vocabulary, but if they're given a nonsense word, for example, a word that doesn't exist, we can see then if they're using their phonics to really apply their knowledge of phonics and build that word. And then that's done every term as well. And then what we've done then, we've devised a tracking system on our assessment tracker, the school assessment tracker. And then when we have progress meetings with the deputy head then, who's assessment lead, we will discuss the progress that the children are making. And it makes the staff more accountable as well of where the children are and what they need support with. Lots of the children fly through the scheme. There are children as well who struggle and have to have Sounds Right intervention. But, you know, we, as a class teacher, I think as a school, we know where our children are with phonics and what they need support with. And I think the testing is really beneficial, and it's something that I would advise every school to do. Even when we started to test the children higher up who hadn't accessed Sounds Right, even we could see gaps where they needed to go back and practice blending and segmenting as well. And overall, I feel that the scheme is, you know, in terms of impact, it definitely has had impact on standards. It has transformed the way the children spell, the children read. Our spelling scores have gone up as a result of Sounds Right, and it exposes the children to the different ways of spelling the same sound. So all in all, I feel that, yeah, Sounds Right is definitely an impact. And if you ever wanted to come and visit our school, you can. I'm happy to deliver a Sounds Right session for you to see. You can come and see the reading books as well, talk to the children, and also see the activities within the Sounds Right scheme. There are lessons that you teach, and there are only 10 lessons in all. There are 5 lessons that go with the initial code and 5 lessons that go with the extended code. And those are the 10 lessons, and you repeat, repeat, repeat. So when you introduce a new song, a new sound, you go back to lesson 1 and you do the whole process again with the same lesson, the same 5 lessons, obviously with different sounds, introducing the different sounds, and the skills change as well. But like I said, if there's anything that you need support with, come to visit the school. I will put my email address and have it available for you, and you can just call me anytime and email me anytime. Thank you.